Well, good afternoon and welcome to another Workforce Dialogue. I'm Adrian Tate with the High Country Workforce Development Board, and I'm here today with Anne Honeycutt. Anne is the Director of Career and Technical Education for the Department of Public Instruction in North Carolina. How are you doing today, Anne?
I'm doing great, Adrian. Thank you so much for having me with you this afternoon.
Well, it is our pleasure, and we're excited to talk about the NCWorks Certified WorkReady Communities, and we're glad you're here today to tell us a little bit more about this program and how our local communities can get involved.
Well, thank you very much. As you know, we have been talking about certified work-ready communities in North Carolina for quite a few years, and it began way back in the early 2000s and late 90s and early 2000s with the community college initiatives around providing individuals with career readiness certificates, or CRCs, as lots of people are familiar with the acronym, to help them validate to employers the foundational skills they had in applied mathematics and reading and locating information to show employers and businesses they were ready to go to work. the Department of Commerce, did a pilot program with counties in the eastern region in the mid 2000s to develop some criteria for counties to become certified work-ready counties. And so we're very excited that North Carolina had already begun some framework and discussion when the State Board of Education decided to adopt the Career Readiness Certificate as a measure of career readiness for our graduating seniors. So at the point that the Department of Public Instruction, the Department of Commerce, and the community college system all had in common the Career Readiness Certificate preparation, we decided we were ready to think about being part of the national ACT Certified Work-Ready Communities program. And so we created a state-level team to look at how we might do that and to really help folks like you and folks in counties and regions in the state better understand the benefits of the Certified Work-Ready Communities program and how they could implement it in their area. So, as I mentioned, three major workforce development partners coming together in a workforce program, looking at a way that we can collectively impact the workforce and labor pool and pipeline for employers is really powerful. And having that tie together, we think, is a huge benefit for North Carolina. The CRC has national recognition and acceptance, and so we see a real benefit to individuals, both as a way to validate skills for hiring, but also for promotion or consideration for other jobs in the future. And then employers who have used the CRC as a means of hiring, whether it's that they require it or they prefer it or they recognize it, really at any of those levels, there's benefit to them in that it helps them have individuals in jobs that are qualified and ready to do that work from the beginning. So there's less turnover and reduced training costs. And then I guess the umbrella above all of those is the idea that it tells businesses who are considering locating in North Carolina or expanding, it gives them a very clear message that we have a workforce that can do the jobs that they have or that they will need to do. So we think there's a lot of benefit to participation in a national program, but we have also made sure that we stayed true to the lessons learned in our pilot and that we maintained criteria that were very appropriate for North Carolina. So the state team that has been working on this for about 2 years now includes community college, both local and system office personnel, folks from the Department of Commerce, again, state level and local, and economic development also. We've had participation from the Governor's Office, the Department of Public Instruction, and the North Carolina Chamber. We were very excited to have the North Carolina Chamber join our work as a partner because they too are involved in workforce development and economic development and promoting North Carolina, and so they were a great addition to our team. We're very happy that they've participated with us. So one of the questions we get very early about this initiative, about this program, is, well, what do we have to do? What are the criteria for our county to be certified? So, because it is part of a national ACT program, there are some goals that are established by ACT. And the first three of those goals deal with the number of individuals who have earned a career readiness certificate. And they're lumped into three buckets: emerging, current, and transitioning. And emerging are just what you would guess. They are students or individuals who are just entering the workforce. Current are those who are currently holding positions, and they would use the CRC for promotion purposes or to get a different job. And then the third bucket are those individuals who are transitioning, who might not be currently employed because of layoffs or closings or barriers or low basic skills. There are a number of reasons that an individual could be transitioning. But those are the three categories. What we found in North Carolina was, because we have had such a rich history and experience with the CRC in years past, and because the state board's policy of providing the assessment to high school seniors, that our emerging population have in almost every county have met their ACT established goal. And many counties have already met their current goal. So, as a general statement, and it's not true in every case, the transitioning category is the place where many counties will really have to think strategically about their plans, their action steps to increase the certificates held by that population. And I think that's a really great place for workforce boards and youth councils to have those conversations about how we can work and do that together.
And Joanne, I know from our perspective that the all of the NCWorks career centers in our area as well are very interested in how they play a part in making sure that we meet those numbers for the transitioning workforce. So I think we're excited about that aspect, and we've seen that pop up in a number of the planning efforts here locally.
And that's exciting news. You know, for many years we've all been doing very good work about preparing people for the workforce. One of the great things about this initiative is we are all rallied around one common idea, one common metric that we're trying to move. And so together we can have individual strategies that help achieve that goal. And at the end of the day, we've had an impact collectively that none of us would have had in isolation. So that's very exciting to hear your career centers gearing up to help in that as well. The next big goal that is set by ACT deals with the number of businesses that participate in the initiative. And so we sent to the national ACT data from LEAD about the number of employer organizations in each county, and they set goals. And so every county is expected to have conversations with their business partners around the benefits of CRC so that folks understand what it is and what it tells them. And then we ask the employers to sign on using the website, the national website, to say, we recognize what the CRC is, and that's how we build that particular goal. North Carolina also felt it was important to have a goal around high school graduation rate. This is not set by the national folks. It was set by the state team. And we believe that a 94% graduation rate is indeed aspirational, but it is within reason for many districts to achieve. But we didn't want to penalize counties who were making great strides in growing their graduation rate over the past 5 years. And so we've offered two alternatives to meet that criteria based on their current graduation rate and then their past growth rate. And so all of those data pieces are available either on the ACT website or on the Department of Public Instruction's website. So, as you can see, Adrian, it's a growing trend in states who have started initiatives around certified work ready communities. Um, North Carolina being between Virginia and South Carolina, who had started this work before us, I think gives a compelling reason from an economic development standpoint of why we wanted to participate as well.
I tell you, when I see that South Carolina has every county now participating, and I think about it from an economic development standpoint, I don't want to go up against that kind of competition without us being on the map.
Well, and I agree with that, and I think some friendly competition is healthy. I was asked a question just yesterday. Well, Joanne, do you see this as counties competing against each other, or do you see them working collaboratively? And my answer to that was yes, because I think we want counties to have pride in their own workforce and the work that they do in preparing individuals for work. But as you know, as we think about workforce development, we don't think about it in terms of isolated, I guess, to a particular county's boundary. People drive and people are prepared in different places, and so thinking about economic development and workforce development, therefore, from a regional perspective, is also very important. So I think those two things go together very well in North Carolina. So you can see at this point, we have 7 counties who have indicated that they want to or have made application to participate in the initiative. We can have all 100 counties. These were just the first 7 to apply in the first round of applications that were sent in. And when those applications are accepted and approved by the state team, the folks at ACT turn the counties dark red, and that indicates to the public or businesses looking at North Carolina that they are participating. When a county is certified, meaning they meet all 100% of their goals, instead of dark red, the county will become gold. So we'll get some additional colors on this map very soon. When a county participates, the site monitors their progress toward goals. You can see in this example, Pitt County has achieved 97% of their goals, and so they have a few more businesses that they need to sign up to support the initiative, and they'll be well on their way. They have exceeded their CRC goals in all of the categories, and have also met their graduation rate criteria. Before a county participates, you can still see the goals for the county just by clicking on it in the chart, but it does not track a percentage toward goal until that application is done. But this is good information as people begin to think about how to write strategies and have discussions with their local leadership team around this initiative. It's important to know where you're starting from and where you're headed as you make those plans.
What was exciting for us as we started to look through our goal numbers was to see that the groundwork that has been laid by schools across the state and our community colleges has already set such a great base for us to jump off of to try and achieve this certification. You can see there in the example of Wake County, even their emerging workforce, their goal of 617 and their actual of 6,489. And we see that across our counties as well.
I think that it's a very, I mean, Wake obviously is one of the larger counties. I won't say it's a typical example in terms of absolute numbers, but the trend you see there is very, very common. And again, the transitioning workforce is where we think a lot of work, a lot of attention folks will want to pay to that category because generally that's the one that tends to lag behind.
And it's telling of those other partnerships that have gone on throughout the years and continue to go. That anybody thinking about certification, we're not starting from ground zero here. We're really well on our way already toward achieving these goals and to having the CRC be an integral part of the way we do workforce development in North Carolina.
That's exactly right. And some counties, as they have started this work, have been concerned about their business number because in lots of places that looks like a pretty daunting number to have businesses recognize the CRC. But I would encourage your folks as they start this work to begin with their community college work keys or CRC primary contact because they maintain contact with employers in their daily work that are supporting that CRC. So while you look at it today, you may think we don't have anybody registered on the site. That is true, but you may have 10 or 15 businesses that are already ready to sign up or to put publicly that they recognize it because they've been using it for quite some time. And what we've found from the Eastern pilot and the counties that have applied is that as you grow those numbers of businesses, it's almost a place, it's a tipping point, right? So it takes a while to get the first few maybe, but once you begin to have that momentum, it's much easier to get businesses to follow behind one another. So as I mentioned, the North Carolina Chamber is a partner in this work with us, and their foundation board is actually the body that will issue the final decision and certification for a county. We felt like we did not want that to be a state agency. It's certainly, the Department of Public Instruction nor the community college system really make a lot of sense to be a certifying body around something like workforce development. So we felt like the Chamber was a very good choice. They've been a very active partner in that work. We did make our first public announcement on August the 14th about the initiative at their Education Summit. And following that August 14th announcement, we had a September 30th deadline for the first applications, and amazingly we had 7 that came in, and we continue to have lots of interest and applications coming in now from individuals to make the March 30th deadline for this next round. So it's important to talk a minute about who should be on a local team, and we've tried to articulate that for folks with a couple of caveats. Number one is we believe that each of these 6 entities needs to be represented. We really don't think the initiative in a county can be successful without all of these partners because they all have an important role to play. The second caveat is we have not said as a state team from this list the Chamber of Commerce representative should always be the lead of your local team. We believe that the lead of the local team should be decided by the local team. And so lots of folks have asked that question, well, who's responsible? And my answer is whoever has the best capacity and the will to be that lead in your local area is who should be the lead. We do require all of these members to sign a letter of commitment that says they support it and that they will work together or collectively to try to have the impact on the goals that would lead them to be a certified county. So I know sometimes folks agree to support things and they sign a letter, but they're not actively engaged. And so we encourage folks as they create their local teams to choose people who can and will be very actively engaged in the work, not just writing the strategies, but making sure they're followed through. So in terms of a real quick process, we encourage local folks to look at the goals, to look at the data. The application is available for download on the North Carolina Chamber's website, and I believe I have those web addresses for you on the last slide. Choose strategies that meet your needs. Another question we often get is, how many strategies should I write? Well, the answer is it depends on your data. And so we certainly don't want teams to feel compelled to have a set number of strategies if they've already achieved their goals. We really want it to be meaningful for the work that's going to happen. I will, having said that, I do want to make sure I come back and say that in a county that's already met the goal for the emerging workforce, and many of ours have, we are still encouraging teams to give some thought to then how do we increase the number of gold and platinum or silver, gold, and platinum certificate holders. Because while holding a bronze certificate does give some validation of skills, those are that just demonstrates readiness for a small number, a small percentage of jobs in most places. And we really want our workers and our workforce to be able to show those foundational levels that make them attractive for a much larger pool of jobs. And so silver, gold, and platinum are our goals. So once those teams have written those strategies and the application is complete, it is submitted to me at the Department of Public Instruction. It's reviewed by the state leadership team. If we find all the required elements are in the application, ACT turns the county red. They monitor monthly, percent toward goal. I monitor monthly, percent toward goal. When we have a county that meets 100% of the goals, we recommend to the Chamber Foundation Board to certify that county. And if and when that happens, we turn the county gold in the website and have a celebration. So, and I do not have those web addresses, Adrian, in this presentation, but I will make sure we get them to you so you can share them with your team members.
And we'll include, when we post this video to the website, we'll include all those addresses as well. And speaking of website, there is a website, I guess, that is up that has more information for them.
It is. It is on the North Carolina Chamber's website. You should be able to find the link pretty easily from their landing page for the NCWorks Certified WorkReady Communities. Just a few clicks into there and the application is there. There's some one-pagers or some information that you could share with businesses or other stakeholders who wanted more information about the initiative. We've tried to put together a toolkit that can help folks as they start this work.
Well, this is exciting, and I'm sure that as we go through the rest of the month of March, you'll see some more of those applications begin to come in, and we'll look forward to more of those counties turning red as time goes on here.
Well, that is certainly my hope. I would love for North Carolina to be dark red in every county, and then gold in every county. But please know, as your team members have questions, I am available to answer questions. I'm available as much as my schedule permits to come and meet with folks and help them think about this in a little more detail or a little more granularly if they need that as well. And so email or phone calls, and we try to get back to folks as quickly as we can.
Well, Joanne, thank you so much for joining us today and talking more about the NCWorks Certified WorkReady Communities program. And again, Anne Honeycutt with the Department of Public Instruction. And we'll watch for more info as we go along.
Thank you very much.